Oh, hello, gang. I'm super excited because I got another interview today. And this is Silvia. And the cool thing about this is Sylvia's brother was working with a unicorn. So, Sylvia didn't even say, David, get me a unicorn. She just found a unicorn through her brother. And then she reached out and told me, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. So I had to share her story. So welcome to the show, Silvia. Thank you for being an inspiration to everybody else.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, before I get into your one big thing, I got to get the cool, because you were so excited. You're a single mom who's been working on this and thinking about this and reaching out to me at different times. Mm-hmm. And so when did you close on your home?
Last Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. So what kind of place did you get? Are you in a place for single family, condo, townhome? What did you end up buying?
A single family home.
Wow. And how much was a single family home in your neck of the woods?
$530.
$530 as a single mom. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay, so if someone out there is maybe a little disappointed or a little depressed right now with what's going on, what would you tell them? What's your biggest tip?
First thing is research. Do your research, make a plan, build a timetable, and check those boxes as you go, and you can do it.
Sounds like you've been listening to the podcast. I love it. So you've been wanting to buy a house for you and your son for a few years now. And originally when you reached out, you had mentioned, you know what, you've got some debt to take care of. What were some of the things you did along the way to eliminate your debt? Did you create a budget? Did you snowball? How'd you do it?
I created a budget. I looked at all my debt, all the different creditors. Then I created a plan, snowball, and I just kept working hard and just kept paying the smallest one first, and then just took it from there. And my brother actually is really good at that too. So he gave me some advice, and I took it and I just kept at it.
Did you start on the debt first and then kind of wrap that up before you got into the savings, or did you try to do both at the same time?
I kind of did both at the same time, to be honest. Yeah.
I think that's a big part of the game that a lot of people understand. It's that balancing act of being able to pull that off.
Definitely.
So you were doing this, you were researching, you made your lists, figured out what you wanted. And then what got really interesting for me was you said that, between your brother and the unicorn, but it sounds like you did a lot of work on your own. And that's why research is your big deal. Tell us the stuff you found.
This has been going on in my head for years now. And, I was just looking for something to help me learn more about the home buying process. And I Googled certain things and your podcast came up. And I was like, there's a podcast for buying a home. I was like, I went on it and I couldn't stop listening. I would listen to it while I was driving. And I was the one that actually told my brother about it. I was like, John, there's a podcast for, buying. He's like, really? And I got him into it. And, I just did research. I started attending years ago. I took a class for home ownership and I learned about the different grants and step by step of what you can do to achieve that goal. And, I just, kept working and kept doing my due diligence and then, work promotions and all that. And, built a little list of things that I needed to do to achieve that. And I gave myself some time and, slowly but surely, was able to achieve that.
I think that's the important part is sometimes people wait for the promotion before they start their planning when it should be exactly the opposite. You should start the planning and then when the promotion happens, then you have extra. You're approved for more. You can do more savings. Yeah. And you already know what to do. You don't have to spend the time researching, I'm making more money. What do I do now?
Yeah. And something interesting happened. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just start looking. Let me, reach out to you and see, And then my brother told me about the unicorn. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with just looking, right? That looking turned out to be serious. I saw a house, then I saw 2 and 3, and I was like, oh my God, I'm really doing this. I wasn't planning on it doing this so early on, but it happened, and I saw a house that I fell in love with, and I was like, this is it. And yeah, it would just happen just like that.
So now I know there's more to the story than it just like that, but I appreciate what you're saying. And I love the fact that your unicorn is all the way across the country. Debbie is my girl in New Jersey. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really funny because we're recording this, and I was just with Debbie like 3 days ago in San Diego at a big realtor convention. And
Yeah.
we toasted you several times.
Oh my God. Love Debbie. Love Debbie.
So you also brought some information to the table here. Tell us about your research into first-time homebuyer grants.
So I learned about first-time homebuyer grants years ago.
Yeah.
That time I had no business taking the class or anything. I do things like that sometimes. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I actually learned a lot about it, and I just kept that in the back of my mind. And then when it was time to do it, I just looked at different grants available, and I was like, wow! Like before, it was different. They didn't have so many different options. And the good thing about this is that you can stack up the different grants. You just don't get one. You can apply for different ones, and if you fall within the guidelines, you can get them. But I didn't have enough time, so I just there was one. It was the I'm trying to remember the name of it. Can't remember the name of the grant now.
There's so many different names, and
Yeah.
they're in every state and every city and every
Yeah.
county. So God knows I don't know the name of the ones in Jersey.
Yeah, I can't remember the one I used, but it's an easy process. They verify all your income, verify a few things, and if you qualify, that just like that, you get it. So
Eh.
a lot of my friends now, they're like, "Darn it, why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "I didn't know." Yeah, my sister's like, "Hey, I didn't get that grant as a first time." I was like, you just gotta do your research,
Got to put the work in. Got to
Yeah.
figure it out. So $530,000 home. Now, do I have the numbers right? Debbie and I were talking. It was like 17 grand, and that's all you brought into the table because you had grants for $22,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've been talking to so many people that think they need 20% down. So that's, they're looking at your house and they're thinking, I need over $100,000. You bought this house with $17,000 for you and your son. And you closed before your brother. So you rubbing that in his face because he doesn't close for a couple of weeks.
I'm hoping that he can close soon and we can both celebrate. I actually thought he was going to close before me, but things just happened quickly, and it just happened that way. But
okay,
yeah.
well, that's a great segue, Silvia, because I want to get into Debbie and I were talking, unicorn to unicorn about your transaction. You are so chill right now, and that's because you're in the house.
Yeah.
But the transaction had some serious stuff going on, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, there was a few bumps on the road.
So you started with a multiple offer situation.
Yes.
And did you talk to your realtor, to Debbie, about like things that you could do on the contract to make it look better since you knew there were going to be other people coming in?
No, I actually didn't know much on that aspect. I learned a lot from Debbie, and I trusted her. I was like, Debbie, you do your thing and I'll do my part. So you tell me, what I need to do on my end, and, whatever they needed, I right then and there, I got them the answers. I got them whatever they needed from my side. And, but Debbie, she's great. She's very knowledgeable, and, she did her thing.
Well, I'm sure she never bragged to you, but we had, conversations post-conference, and let's just say there was a bar nearby, and she spilled the beans a little bit.
Really?
She told me, and I love, there are things that happen that people don't realize, and maybe she told you about this, but she used your story talking to the listing agent. She told the listing agent about you being a single mom.
She did.
Researchers before, and apparently that hit a soft spot with the listing agent. And
she did tell me that.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why you got accepted.
Yeah, I never try to use that single mom thing. Like I just, but all of the unicorns, the lender, everybody, it was a women's group. It was all women. And I was just like, that is just so odd. But I was just so excited to work with them. Everybody was so nice, and they were like, wow, like you're a single mom and you're doing this on your own. I'm like, yeah. And they were just so excited for me. And I was like, wow, and when I finally got the first home that I wanted, I didn't get it. And I was so sad. And Debbie, she was like, Sylvia, she gave me her experience. She's like, it'll be okay. The next one, she's like, I promise you, it's gonna be yours. And it happened just like that. It was just so weird, but yeah, Debbie, she's amazing.
I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard that story or had that story happen with me and my buyers.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get kind of freaked out when people say, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Because then I'm like, sorta, but you still got to do the work, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we learn.
It's very draining and it's taxing, and
yeah,
you kind of lose hope, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go through this again. And but I feel like everything happens for a reason, and this was the home that was meant for me. It was perfect. It's 8 minutes away from my family's house. It's close to work. The neighborhood is beautiful, in a beautiful town, beautiful. It's amazing. And then the neighbors now, they come up to me and they introduce themselves. I had deer on my lawn the other day. I'm like, what is going on? I'm a city girl. So this is like, is this really happening? And my son is just beyond excited, having his own room. And he's like, Mommy, I'm just so, he tells me, he's like, Mommy, I'm very proud of you. And you're such a good mom. And I'm like, that's all I need to hear,
Oh, that warms my heart so much. And I love hearing that. And there are certain times in your life to swallow the pride a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you don't want to use that single mom thing.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, let it all go when you're buying a home.
Yes.
Whatever you can get in there. And then you got your women's team. And now you had your wonderful moment with your deer and your son is proud of you. So let's get into some of the nitty gritty on this actual transaction, because there's some stuff I think people can learn from.
Mm-hmm.
You guys found water issues in the basement, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so they were offering, the seller knew this, and they were offering a $5,000 credit, right?
Yeah.
So that changed things. But then you went ahead and did your home inspection.
Yes.
And Deb said that you guys discovered some mold and structural issues. So what ended up happening with that?
So the owner basically he covered the costs of everything, and which I couldn't believe. I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, he's going to pay for everything, And I was like, wow, like it's rare to see this. And so everything was covered.
And it is rare, but when you come into the right situation, that's what I tell people all the time. That price negotiation that everybody puts so much emphasis on.
Yeah.
If you go crazy hard with that, then you don't have any nice cards left.
Yeah.
You guys got, what Debbie said, you got like 26 grand in credits.
Yeah.
So you got to do the mold remediation and got the structural stuff fixed. But here's the thing that I really liked. She told me that you could only get a certain amount of the concessions, because that happens. The sellers can only credit you a certain percentage. So they credited you a big chunk, and then they did the rest of them stuff. And then the rest of the stuff was money that you could pay the people to do the repairs.
Yeah.
It's that kind of creativity that just blows me away. Now, and you can't Google that, right?
No, I had no idea. I was like, Debbie, what are you talking about? So you told me that everything's going to get covered and I don't have to pay for anything. She's like, yeah. I was like, what is going on here? But I just, God is good and she's great. And, she's a single mom herself, single mother. So was her assistant, and so was the lender. It's just like, it was meant to be this whole experience. It was, at one point I was really, what's the word? I was scared. I was frustrated with the amount of time it was taking, but that's just me. But, they really stuck with me and they were like, it's okay. You're going to be fine. And I was like, okay. And I just trusted them, and they were amazing to me.
At the beginning of the process, did you think that you would be in a situation where you'd be paying so little for a house worth so much?
No, first of all, I didn't think it was going to happen. I take risks. And I just dive into things, and I go in it with a positive mindset, but I'm like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And I honestly did not think it was going to be this quick, this smooth. Like, I didn't think I was going to get the grant. It was just like a lot of great stuff happening. And, I just put my faith, and I just let Debbie do her thing. I let everybody do what they needed to do. And, I just trusted them, and, everything just happened the way it was supposed to. I'm still like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that I'm here in my own home, and I wake up every day, and my son is just beyond excited. And yeah, it's just, I'm in La La Land still. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
There are so many wonderful things that happen with home ownership. But I'm such like a real estate numbers nerd. And obviously your story is amazing and incredible, and you guys have deer. What I love about it is that you basically, if you just ran the numbers into a spreadsheet, you never would have thought you could afford that home, because between the grant and the concessions, you got over $50,000 to help you buy this home.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't, told your brother about the podcast, kept listening to the podcast, kept hearing me say you can do it every day in your ears, then, maybe you might not have approached it.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. I get so sad when I hear people stop because they're like, yeah, well, I can only afford $450, but I really want $500.
Yeah.
Like, well, have you talked to somebody that can maybe show you a way to get $500? Because you could talk to my friend Silvia. She has a deer in her backyard now.
You know what's the crazy part too? I would drive to different areas in Jersey where it's just beautiful, and I would just drive, and I'm like, oh, I wish I lived here one day. Like and it actually happened. I drove around this part of town, and I was like, this is beautiful. Imagine I had a house here. And I was like, no, I can't afford it. Like, the houses around here are like mansions. And lo and behold, here I am in Hawthorne, like 30 minutes or less from the city. Like, it's just insane.
Wait, you're 30 minutes from the city and 8 minutes from work?
Yes, 30 minutes. Actually, 30 minutes from work, and to cross the bridge is like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And what was the difference between your rent and your new payment? Were you ready for that? Is it a big difference? Or is it thousands of dollars?
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I look at it in the way that it's an investment. It's mine. And, this house, with the renovations that I'm doing to it, it's going to make the house way more valuable than it is right now. So it is, it's more, it's like double.
Yep.
But I'm excited, and I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just like, this is great, and I'm a hard worker. I think everybody that knows me knows that, and I'll be okay. And just seeing my son look happy every day, and making me put LED lights on his ceiling and all that stuff, like, it's worth it.
Girl, I could have sent you Amazon links. I got a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. I burn through those things.
Oh my God. Now he wants the clouds on it. I'm like,
yep, my son got one of those for college.
Oh, God.
The ability now to not only have this forced savings account, it's more right now, but in a few years, it's going to be equal to whatever rent you would be paying if you were still a renter.
Yes.
And now you have this extra money that can be for you and your family later on. But what's really cool is when your son is 19, 20, 21, 22, you can give him the education, the knowledge base to help him be a renter for the least amount of years possible.
Yeah.
That's such an exciting piece to the puzzle.
Yes.
And I am just over the moon so glad that everything fell together for you in place. And, as I do this podcast all the time, trying to help people, I feel like if I told your story, people will go, shut up, he's trying to sell me something. You're like the fifth one this year for somebody who basically got, 15, 20, for you, over $50,000 in credits and grants.
Yeah.
And now you're a homeowner, girl.
Yeah. And, it was amazing that some of my friends are like, wow, like you really did this by yourself. Like no spouse, no family, no nothing. You did this alone. And if you could do it, I could do it too. And I'm like, yeah, like just make a plan and execute that plan and it can happen,
That's absolutely the most telling thing you could have said, because I see people that are getting help and doing it. But fortunately, because of the podcast, I get to see more and more people like you. I've had a lot of single moms this year. It's awesome. It's so exciting.
I've heard some of your episodes and
oh yeah,
inspiring. And, I never thought I'd be talking to you about my story. Like I never thought in a million years I would be a homeowner. And like now, like I would think, oh, maybe, a few years down the line, but, I think you're doing an amazing thing. And, your team, is just incredible. And the amount of knowledge that you're providing that, not many other people are doing, like, kudos to you and your team. And you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so much. I am doing my best because there are deserving people out there who need to know what to do. And for your particular situation, I want to make sure that you are giving yourself as much kudos as well. It's also a great teachable moment for my listeners. A lot of people in your position 3 years ago, 4 years ago, would have done a little research and gone, I'll wait for a promotion. I can't really do anything. You did the work. And because you did the work, as life happened, you put yourself more and more in a position so that this wonderful team could support you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy for you and your home. And I really appreciate you sharing your story. And like I said, being an inspiration to so many other people.
Yes. I love to hear people's stories. I think they inspire you for many different reasons. And, I like to serve that to people as well. Like, I'm not anything, special or anything grand, but if I can teach or inspire someone with something, I'm paying it forward. So, thank you. And everybody who has, helped me as well.
Well, you're preaching to the choir, girl, because for me, I have this group of unicorns that I refer to people, and that's how I keep the podcast going. Because if they decide to use a unicorn, then we get a little bit of the money. But for you, like I didn't refer you directly to like I didn't make a dime helping you all these years, but I'm just as happy because I'm paying it forward, and I'm so stoked for you. Well, tell your son that I'm really excited for him too. My little suburban kids, we freaked out when we saw some deer up in Yosemite. So I know how exciting that can be. But now they're in your yard, not just your yard, not your landlord's yard.
Yeah.
Your yard.
My yard.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, Silvia.
Thank you, David.